Alright, we got some trimming done. I gotta remove this rusty old bolt here so that this flap can lay down. It's the edge that we trimmed out so that I can bend it up, weld it along this frame edge. Same here. Go to the inside, see the overhang on it along there. This is the general idea, what it's going to look like inside. Got a bit of a bow going on the large section. Pushed flat and meets pretty good. So far so good. This is just mock-up, so I'll get the edges bent in and we'll get the line drawn on the bottom to bend the bottom edge under. This is going to get plug welded all the way along here, probably from the inside, I'm thinking. It's already got some holes happening right there, so good spots to plug weld. Yeah, a little bit off on the, just a smidgen on my squareness for the frame here. Either that or the tin. The bend is just maybe a smidgen longer on one side than the other. Maybe a couple screws holding things in place. And this pushes just flat. Like I said, there's about the same amount on the bottom. We'll bend this under. We'll draw a line first and get that pre-bent before we put the piece back in. So, got some tack welding to do and some bending. So I'll get these pieces bent over and get this piece fitting like a glove. Everything's fitting now. I got the line drawn on the bottom. We got a hole through here with this piece bent up in order to cover that little gap. Inside here, the main brace is tack welded on, so I could take the bolt out, reinforced it with a tack in there. Did the same to the other side. So now that everything's fitting and in place, more so, I take it back off and I gotta bend all the edges and refit it again. That would be nice. We're gonna try and see if we can punch some holes into this piece before I bend all the pieces. I started bending it, but it was really stiff. 20 gauge is still pretty thick, so we need to punch some holes and make some plug holes for welding. So this is a hole puncher. It's also got a step press basically built into the tool, power fist. We'll see if it actually punches a hole. So I'm supposed to set it along here and voila. And the little plugs are supposed to come out the plug. Ta-da! Still gotta mark out the bottom edge, then I'll run a punch holes along there, punch holes. Okay, the piece is back in formed. The edges are bent over, hole punched, ready to start plug welding the edges together. Got the flap bolted up so that it covers that little area. And we'll pull this in with some heat clamps. This is still loose under here, but the edge is bent under. Inside here, you can see the plug weld holes are punched in all the way along. They're close. We'll have to push it up a little bit. There's a little bit of a curve going on right now, and once we push everything in, it should flatten out mostly. This, I realized after the fact, is doesn't let the drain plug undo. I'm gonna have to trim around there for the drain plug. All in all, it's coming along good. All the welding got done underneath. Got all the braces done underneath. Everything that's exposed, we'll weld it up as we go. So, yeah, come along good. We're back here. A little bit of problem with the camera footage. I'll give you an update of where we're at on getting the tin in on the back of this thing. Framework's all buttoned up underneath. It's all welded in nice. Built a piece, fit up along there. Tapped some plug welds all the way along. Formed. There are gaps here and there. I still got to finish all the final welding and fitting. We got to basically peen the edges, get everything all nice and tight. And then we'll go along the inside here and weld up all the inside plug welds once we get the outside sorted. Starting to come along pretty good here. overlapped here. We're going to push this in, weld it solid. Basically the mufflers are going to cover over this, so you're not going to see any of this anyways. Then seal that in. This lip needs to be finished up, plug welded along the bottom. And then I'm going to try and do a nice weld along here, here, and here. We're trying to weld it in a little bit of a gap up here, a little tiny bit of a gap on both sides there. We're just going to bend this down a little more, I guess, and try and make it fit better, and won't really notice it from up top. There's some rust to deal with up there still, so today I gotta finish getting these edges all bent in all the way along here, welded nice, ground down, get this seam ground, welded, and then ground, reground, lots of grinding over and over again. So much grinding. It's an unbelievable amount of grinding. Same on this side. Push it. Ooh, Spidey, come running out. Sorry, buddy. Almost squished you. Go on. Oh, there you go. Oh man, I almost squished him. It's nice and sunny today, so don't want rain. So yeah, pretty much the same idea on this side. Gotta trim this up with the cutters, bend it over, peen it until it gets a nice fitting. This side got a little bit more gappy. May have to make a piece for here, triangle piece, just to form this in. Haven't quite figured that out 100% yet, but as it is, it's basically just getting the back onto it, right? Same on this side here. Got to bend this edge up, weld it on. A few dents here and there. Wide pieces, don't bend over too well. Stupid nail sticking out of the board. Damn, didn't even see it. This needs to still be finished up. We're gonna have to make like a little mini doghouse for that. Yeah, it's got a little bit of rust here and there, but that's not even a big deal because I've had this for a while. That's a new floor. Well, part of a floor. Yeah, this is kind of what it looks like without pipes on it either. Yeah, we gotta look at what the pipes look like when they're out. See, it just snakes along there. Not a whole lot to it. Just pipe. That's what it looks like without the pipes in the way. Once we got all the welding done up, we'll get the window pushed in. Hoping that once the welding is done, this actually pulls tighter. Hopefully the weld up here it pulled tight. You could see like it pulled pretty tight along up there. So that looks pretty good, I have to say. Once that's all in along, we'll give it tacks from the inside. I'll probably drill this bar out, put a bunch of holes in that bar, and tack it to the middle. You guys are wondering, this is how I prepare my lines for got now, we've got some tin on here. It's all stitched up around the edges for now. Tack stitches. Have to add some more, clean it up. No grinding has happened yet. Haven't done any grinding yet. All the pieces are made, are fitting in place, solid. So inside here, we can still get at the back seams, finish welding it up. Got the top piece made with tabs, all welded in. A little bit of a gapping there, but not major. Got some rust to deal with still. A couple holes there still to deal with, but there's more welding to do. We'll get the inside finished up. The rest of the plug welds on the inside need to be completed, both sides. Put a few tacks here and there, try and stiffen things up inside some more. This needs to be welded down as well. Those plugs need in. Finish welding the floor plugs in. Made the pieces to cover the winch. It's all tacked in at the moment. Gonna have to get some grinding, do some nice welds on it, get it all nice. This is just pretty much just holding everything together right now. We have a window and we have some metal covering the back. So these are what I had left over from that sheet. That and that and the other metal is old metal from the van. So yeah, that's all I got left over from the entire sheet of steel. Yeah, next I gotta get this reservoir sitting back in place and make sure it all fits under the tin. Oh yeah, I got this edge bent under. This is how I did most of the overlaps and joins. Punched holes and then bent the edge over. This here, I overlapped it just a little bit to add that metal. See how it burns the metal back a little bit with each weld? Well, once we start welding it back, it's going to literally weld this, burn this edge back. Well, I'm hoping to about there. That's why I left about a 16th there, 16th of an inch about all the way along. This side got a little bit wider as a cut. You can see metal burns away really easy. This 20 gauge, it seems thick, but once you start welding it, it's thin. These are just tack welds, but they're burning through on the back side. So, you know, my welder's at its the lowest setting too with this stuff. So can't have it on there too long, too much heat gets into the metal. So yeah, that covers everything up nicely. This still needs to be still. Like I said, I'm not sure if we'll build a cap for that or not. Yeah, that's the update. We got metal on the back. It's coming along good. I have to figure out the seating. I have to rearrange the seat posts a bit. Everything seems to fit good, but I want to lower the seats. I don't want the seats quite as high. So there you go. Once I got it all ground off, welded up, and I get some paint, and figure out some sort of interior for it. Panels, cover up everything somehow. But deal with that later. Right now, function. Need it to function. We gotta get this truck happening. We gotta drive it and pick up other trucks. Do all kinds of things. This is gonna be a good work truck.